Okay, so welcome to part two of Epnevma. If you got to watch part one, you got to know a little bit about the context of the hymn, and we went over the first verse. But in this video, we're going to take a look at the second verse of Epnevma, which is the longest verse. So this will most likely be the longest video. And then in part three of Epnevma, we'll take a look at the third verse. Now, I want to explain also why I wanted to break it up into parts. The reason being is because I wanted to isolate the tune or the Hazzat of the first, second, and third verse, because actually knowing the Hazzat for the third verse allows you to know a lot of other hymns. So there's also a hymn that you're going to see explained, which is the hymn Piechlog, and also another hymn, O Mother of Light, which follow the tune of the third verse of Epnevma. So I'm going to upload those videos. So I wanted to break this up that way you don't have to watch the whole Epnevma video just to, for example, understand another hymn better, but rather that you could watch just a portion of Epnevma so that you could also get those other hymns while also learning, let's say, Epnevma at your own pace. So we're going to go over the second verse, which starts here. So the first verse we already went over in the previous video. In the second verse, we're going to take a look at kind of three parts. In those three parts, or actually, I should correct myself, it's four parts, but it's three parts that are distinct. There's a lot of repetition that you're going to notice here. So once we actually know this part here, you're going to know how to do this part and this part. The third part here that I'm moving my cursor over is a little bit different than the other three parts. Okay, so there's a lot of repetition, so it's not too bad. Like once you have a little bit of it down, it really cycles pretty easily. So we're gonna start here. I'm gonna do the first verse really quickly, just so you know what we're doing. Okay, but the first verse, as you recall, goes like this: Pi epnevma empara gliton fi et afi geni apostolos genepshai enti Pentecosti afsagi genhan mi ishen laas. Okay. The second verse proceeds right away. It goes like this. Okay, I'm gonna do all of the verse out, and then we're gonna look at it piece by piece. Okay, so it's gonna go like this. of an And that's the second verse. So as you can tell, a little bit longer than the first verse, and definitely longer than the third verse as well. But as you can notice, there's a lot of repetition here, right? The na'afto, that verse is the only one that's meaningfully different. Here you have a lot of the same tune just being repeated, repeated, and repeated. So once you kind of have that one portion down, it actually makes a lot of the hymn a lot easier, right? So that's what we're going to take a look at. Okay, apologies for a little bit of the pause. I had to put my computer on charge. But we're going to start with the first portion right here, okay? So coming right off of the first verse, it goes, right? So if you remember here, when we have these types of combos of two short notes, they almost act like one medium note, but with a little bit of hesitation. So here, it's not, it's not like that. It's, right? So it's, So notice that you have those two short notes together, right? So it adds a little bit of hesitation or a little bit of texture to the note here. Okay. So it's starting out as and then there's a pause here. So there's a little bit of space that you notice in the S short B. It's gonna go pause, and then it's gonna proceed as usual. Okay. So let's just try the A to the S here together, and you can pause the video and practice it on your own. Okay. So it's gonna go like this. Okay, so just practice that. All right. So it's gonna go sho oh 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 oh. Okay, and again, that's where you're seeing the short notes, adding a little bit of texture, sounding more like the hymn, right? So it's not like sho oh 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 oh. It's not like that. There's a little bit of musicality to it and a little bit of kind of rhythm or groove to the hymn. And so that's why we add the short notes in there to give that texture, to give that groove, to give that kind of bump or bounce to it, right? So it's going to go, sure, oh, whoa. So let's just practice the sure. Let's practice that transition. Sure, oh, whoa. So just practice that on your own. Okay, so I'm going to do it once. You can pause the video and practice it. Sure, oh, whoa. Okay, so once you have that down, you can move on to the rest of the sure. Okay, sure, oh, whoa, oh, oh, whoa. Okay, sure, oh, whoa, oh, oh, whoa. Okay. So add this little oh to what we already have down. Okay. So sure oh. Okay. And that's why we also have this little short note here to add a little bit of bounce. Sure right? It's not sure it's oh. So that's why we have that little short note there. Oh. Okay. So, sure, oh. Okay. Sure, oh. All right. So let's practice this one more time before we move on to this part here. Sure, oh. This part is going to go oh. All right. So oh. So you want to start a little bit high on these first two notes. Oh. Right? And then descend in pitch down these. So think of this not as just 6 medium notes. Think about it as 3 sets of 2 medium notes. Okay? So this is a set, this is a set, and this is a set. And think of this as higher, this is medium, and this is low. Okay? And then this is going to be low building up back to high. Okay? So it's oh, and then it's going to go back up high on these 2 long notes. Okay, so oh. Okay, so let's practice that one more time together. You can pause the video and practice on your own. Oh. Okay, so all together, it's going to go like this. Sure, oh. Okay, this part here is going to go sorry, let me redo that one more time. So going from here. Oh, 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 oh. Okay? So going from right here. Don't practice it yet. Just go from the shopi, okay? Sho, oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, so that's the part we're adding. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Oh, 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 oh. So don't go too high on this second note. Just keep it pretty normal. Oh, 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 oh. So let's practice that all together. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. So all together, this line. Sho, oh, 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 oh. This part is gonna be O P. So notice how we're going a little bit higher here. O P. And it's important that when we go high on these notes that you have control over your voice. Okay. So if you're trying to go high and you're noticing that it's a struggle, it's because you're most likely starting a little too high anyways, right? So if you're having trouble hitting those higher notes or the portions of the hymn where you're supposed to go high, what you need to then do is make sure that you're starting low, right? So on here, right? If I start really high, I'm gonna have a hard time here because I'm already starting at a higher octave. All the high notes in that higher octave are going to be impossible for me to meet, right? So you want to start lower. Sing at a voice level that's comfortable for you, right? Especially when you're learning the hymns. Don't try to be too fancy with it. Don't try to be too musical with it. Obviously, get an idea of the rhythm, get an idea of the notes, the Hazzat, everything like that. But if it's not hitting high, you don't have to go high. Just get down kind of that rhythm as you sing. Okay, so here, we're going to go a bit higher. Okay, so it's going to be O, P. Okay, so notice O, P. There's that little added bounce with the short note here. It's not O, P. It's O, P. Okay, so that's why we have that little short note there. O P. Okay. So here, we'll start here. Oh, 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 P. Okay. So practice this portion and then add it onto the whole line. So the whole first line will sound like this. Sho, oh, 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 P. Okay, and that's the whole first line. Okay. So starting here, we'll move on to the transition to the second line. Here, the pitch, the notes, the kind of tune is very similar to OP here. Okay, so starting here, it's OP. Okay, so let's practice that all together. So you should have this part down. We're just adding in this additional part. Okay. O P A. Okay. O P A. So notice we're descending down. So OP starts high, right? It's O P A. Okay. So ascending in pitch on the OP, and then as we're moving throughout it to the EA, we're going a little bit lower in pitch. Okay. So that's what you want to do. O P A. Okay. And the reason why you want to go low is because this next set of Hazzat is low, right? It's going to go A, right? So that's why you want to be low, because if you're high here on the A, it's going to be hard to go from A. It's harder to do that, right? So you want to make sure that the pitch is flowing like a wave. There's not this like random break from you're going to high to low, back to high. You're keeping it consistent, right? So it's O P A. And this part here, we're going to practice A. It's very like anthemic, right? It's like something's getting there, right? A. Okay, so O P A. Okay, this part is going to go A. So let's practice that. A. One more time. A. Okay. So A. So pause the video, practice that, right? Give it a second. Once you have that, we can go like this. A. Right? So you might be thinking, I want to go A, like keep going like that. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be A. Hold it. A. And that's what's going to be next. Okay. So A. Okay. And then that's going to go back high. So here, we're going to be a little bit lower. We're going to go high here. And that's going to be the way the pitch progresses, okay? So A. Okay? A. So here, this long note in the set of Hazzat is going to be high, okay? So, and then you're going to go back low with these two short Hazzat and the one medium Hazzat. Right, so A, pretty low. A, a little bit higher. A. Okay, A. So let's practice this part, just this part. So A. So here we're kind of normal. A. It's like kind of high, not too high, not as high as the long note. And that's again what we're mentioning. You want to start off decent. If you're starting here, A, it's going to be hard to get there, right? So it's A. Okay, this part is going to go A. These two, this short note and long note combo, identical for both of these. Okay, so it's A. And again, back low. Okay, so again, it's building up, high, back to low. Okay, so let's practice from OP. OP. A. A, 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 A. Okay, so this next Hazzat, this set of Hazzat, right, is going to be like this. Okay, so let's practice from here. A, 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 A. So we're starting a little bit high on the two long notes. We're going to go a little bit lower on the next two medium notes. And then this medium note, set of two short notes and long note, we're going back high. Okay? So A, 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 A. So just practice that. A, 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 A. Okay. A, 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 A. All right. So following my hand where the pitch is at. A, 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 A. That's how you want to practice this. Okay. And the reason why this needs to be high is because this next two medium notes are going to be high. Right? So it's A, 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 A. So this here's me. A, 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 A. Okay. A, A. So just practice this. A, A. That's where you're starting. Right here, you're starting A, A, very high. The next two are going to be lower. So it's A, 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 and then descends again in pitch. A, 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 A. Okay? And that's going to be as shopi piet. Okay? So let's go from here down to here all together. Sho, oh, 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 P, Okay, so we'll practice from this transition here. Okay. So from here we can also practice it. Okay. So one more time from here, and then pause the video and practice it. Okay. Okay. So let's just practice that transition into here. Of go, oh, 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 oh. Okay, so notice we have those little short notes again, adding that bounciness or that rhythm to them. Of go, oh, 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 oh. Okay, so that's how you're going to sing it. And that's how you're going to do the transition to of go. Okay. Of go, oh, 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 Here it's going to go oh, 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 oh. And you're going to hold this long note for a while. Not a while, but a little bit more than the other long notes we've had in the hymn. So from go, oh, 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 and again, descending in pitch. Okay. Oh, 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 oh. So pause the video and practice that. I'll sing it and then you can pause it and practice. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Once you have that and you held it, so it's going to go like the transition is going to be like this. Oh, 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 oh. This part can mess you up. It messed me up a lot. And the reason why is because it seems very similar to this part here, right? Where we go, oh, 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 right? And even now, like I'm having trouble with the tune because of this part. But this is the way the part's gonna go. You're gonna go low, very high, back to low, but this medium note is a little bit more brief or like cut like that, right? So it's gonna start here. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. And then once you get this done, you immediately jump into the next note and you just start going. Right? So it's gonna be like this. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. So I'll practice this part with you guys, and then we'll do this whole thing, and then you can pause and just kind of do it on your own. Okay? Ready? So here's how it's gonna go. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, so let's do this part only. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, once you have that down, we can do this. Oh, 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 oh. These sets of two medium notes are exactly identical, right? So it's gonna go oh, 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 oh. This part right here is gonna be oh, 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 oh. Okay. Once you have that part down, we go here. Oh, 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 oh. So very similar to here, right? These notes here are the same, but here you're going to start high. So it's going to oh, oh. Okay, so practice that. Oh, oh. This part here. Okay. Oh, oh. Once you have that, you can go here. Oh, 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 oh. So let's practice it one more time together. Pause, get it down. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Oh, 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 oh. So starting low here, and then you're going to go back a little bit high, descend back down. Okay. Oh, 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 oh. So let's practice this part. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Oh, 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 oh. All right. So that's how it's going to go. Oh, 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 oh. All right. From here, we're going to transition to the ending of this portion. Okay. And here's how it's going to go. Oh, 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 oh. Just practice this. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. It's descending again a little bit, right? So you're starting high. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, so from here, it's gonna be oh, 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 vo, vo. Again, the short notes add a little bit of bounce. It's not right? So notice the difference here. There's right? One has a little bit of more like an abrupt start to it. And again, it's not it's So there's a little like brief pause or kind of, again, abrupt start to the next two notes. Evo. Okay. Evo. And you want to really treat these as all together, right? There's not a significant break between the L and the E here. Evo. And J, and you're going to go immediately to the next one, right? So the next portion. Okay, but let's practice from here. Oh, 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 okay. Now, when you transition to this part, we actually don't have to learn anything new because this part, same exact Hazzat as this part. Okay. Apologies, I was receiving a phone call. So, okay, apologies, sorry. I received a message, so okay. So exactly the same down here. Okay. Hazzat. So we'll start from here. Evo ol en Do we notice where this is from? It's from this part, right? That's why I have the things in parentheses. This red portion here, right? The of go is the exact same here, right? Right? So from here, So notice, exact same, right, as up here. The beginning is a little bit different, right? You're kind of doing this thing. But once you do this thing, you're back to these Hazzat here and you're just proceeding as usual. So I'm not going to obviously reteach it just, for the sake of time and your own time and your own efficiency. But just listen to the way I sing that part and just apply the Hazzat from up here down to here, right? And just get them down, okay? This is the part that we're actually going to have to learn and to repeat. The reason why is because the Hazzat are different, okay? So, and then usually there's a break or a slowdown, and then it revamps. So it's not going to proceed directly into this part. It's going to pause. This part is going to start. Na'af tho. So it's going to be a little bit higher than the previous portions, right? So this is how we're going to start the first portion. Na'af tho. Na'af tho. So just practice that, okay? Na'af tho. Okay? Once you have that portion down, we can go on to the next part, okay? Na'af tho. Oh. So low, high, high, low, low. Okay. Oh. Right? So na'af tho. And the tho should be a little bit lower, so you can start this portion low. So it's gonna be na'af tho. Oh. So watch my hand as the pitch goes. Na'af tho. Iti. So pause the video and practice that, okay? We'll get back into it. Na'af tho. Iti. This part here is going, oh. So just practice this part here, right where my cursor is at. Oh. So this part is going to go, oh. Oh. Okay. Oh. Here, we're going to go, oh. We're going to descend in pitch, right? So, oh. So practice that. Oh. Oh. This part looks the same, but is actually the opposite. So this part was descending in pitch. This part is ascending in pitch, right? So this part goes, oh. So it's literally just reciprocal to this part, right? Oh. Exact same as here, right? So here's how we're going to start from here, and we'll introduce this new part here, okay? So all of these sets. So this is one set, a descending in pitch. Okay. Oh. Right. Notice how we're going lower. Oh. Right. This is the same one. Oh. Okay. So oh. Okay. So we'll start here. Practice this part. Oh. Oh. Again. Oh. This part is going to go a bit higher while these parts are lower. Oh. Again, high, back to low. Oh. Right? Oh. Okay, so practice that. Oh. Here you're going to be low, back to from high to low. So low, starting high, back to low. Oh. Okay. So oh. And this has to be low because this is going to start low and then go back to high. Okay. So hey. Okay. Oh, oh. So just practice these first two notes. Oh, 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 hey. Okay. So start low here. Oh, and then really high. Oh, 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 hey. And then you're descending again, right? So you're starting low. This second note is where you start really high and then you begin to ascend with these shorter notes. And keep in track, the hey is hey, yay. So just practice that. Hey, yay. It's not hey, it's hey, yay. That's why we have the two little short notes here. Okay. So oh, 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 hey, yay. This part here is go a, staying low. And these are the same exact sound. Okay. A. So starting high, ascending. A. So for these three, start really high, A, and then really go low. A. Excuse me. Yo, ma, Okay, so we'll start from here and then pause the video and practice, okay? Yo, ma, So here's So these three notes here, the three long notes, plus the short note in the middle, high. Big pause, big break here. That's why we put the red. Just practice this part. You want to go high. Okay. Here, we're going to start high again. And then descend. So starting here. So these first two are the highest. You know, these next two kind of high, but not as high as the first two. And then the rest is descending. We move on to this portion here. And I put the red arrow to note that it's ascending in pitch, right? So you're gonna go starting low here because you finish low here, so stay low here. And the first note, the first two notes can be a little bit lower, but this long note at the end has to be high. So it's gonna go so low, high, and then descending. Okay, so let's practice this part here. Okay, we'll move on to the last portion, and it just and JP meet esna So sorry, it's the same as these portions. My bad. So and JP meet esna So it's similar to this part, right? If you do this part, we'll see. Show show oh 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 So, and then you just keep going through here. But the tune is a bit hard to get once you do this portion. So I'm not doing it as good as I should. So my apologies for that. But basically, the same exact Hazzat is up here. Okay. No difference. And then you move on to the third verse over here. Okay. So, and meet esna of and up oh 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 this part might be a bit different though. Let's go. Oh, sto, los. Okay, so sto, los. And that wraps up the second hymn or the second verse or the second part of Epnevma, right? So, and mi te okay, so it's the same as these portions here, right? So ho the same here. Sna the same exact. Okay, and that wraps up the second portion. So once you have this part down, you can move on to part 3 of Epnevma, which might be the most useful part, quote unquote, because you'll know a lot of other hymns by knowing the third part of Epnevma, which is this part right here. Okay, but I love you guys so much. I hope you found this video helpful, and truly, truly, so thankful to God for the blessing of having the opportunity to teach this hymn and to spend time with you guys in fellowship, engaging with the hymns and praises of our church. If you ever need anything, please message me, leave a comment, text me, anything you guys need relating to hymns, anything at all. But I love you guys so much, and I hope you have nothing short of the most amazing and blessed day. Love you guys.